Chandragupta Maurya. He ruled from 321 to 297 BCE, controlling most of the Indian subcontinent from his capital Pataliputra, modern-day Patna. He was not born into royalty. He came from a humble background, abandoned as a child, raised by simple people with no idea what this boy would become. A teacher named Chanakya spotted something in him and decided to build a king. Together they trained, plotted, and fought their way to power, defeating the mighty Nanda dynasty, pushing back Seleucus I, one of Alexander the Great's most powerful generals, and forcing him into a peace deal that handed over enormous northwestern territory. He was never defeated in battle, not once. He had two known queens, Durdara, mother of his son Bindusara, and Helena, the daughter of Seleucus. After 24 years of ruling one of the most organized empires the ancient world had seen, he gave it all up, handed the throne to his son, became a Jain monk, and fasted until death. A man who conquered half a continent chose to leave it all behind on his own terms. Ashoka. He ruled from 268 to 232 BCE over an empire stretching from present-day Afghanistan to Bangladesh. He was the grandson of Chandragupta Maurya, royalty by blood, but he fought his way to the throne, reportedly eliminating several of his own brothers to secure it. He had multiple queens, the most important being Devi, his first love and mother of his children, and Asandamitra, his chief queen. Everything changed after the Battle of Kalinga in 261 BCE. Over 100,000 people died. He won, and it destroyed him inside. He converted to Buddhism, stopped all military expansion, and spent the rest of his reign building hospitals, planting trees along roads, and carving messages of kindness into rocks across his empire. He was never defeated militarily. He simply chose to stop. Vikramaditya. He ruled from around 57 BCE from the city of Ujjain in central India. He came from royal lineage, but earned his legend by reclaiming his kingdom from foreign Shaka invaders who had seized it, defeating them in battle and establishing an era so significant that people mark time by it. The Vikram Samvat calendar, beginning from his reign, is still used in parts of India today. He gathered 9 extraordinary scholars at his court, called the Navaratnas, including the legendary poet Kalidasa. He was never recorded as defeated. In fact, for centuries after him, kings across India added the name Vikramaditya to their own titles just to borrow his greatness. You don't do that for a man who lost. Samudragupta. He ruled from approximately 335 to 375 CE over the Gupta Empire, covering most of northern India. He was the son of Chandragupta I, born into royalty, but he pushed the empire far beyond what birth gave him. He defeated more than 20 kings across northern and southern India. His clever move was that he didn't always destroy the rulers he beat. He humbled them, took their loyalty, and let them govern under him. His chief queen was Dada Devi, mother of his successor. He was never defeated, and what made him truly unique, he was a poet and a musician. The Gupta Golden Age, ancient India's greatest cultural peak, didn't just begin under him, it ignited. Muhammad bin Qasim. He ruled over conquered Sindh and southern Punjab from 711 to 715 CE. Barely 4 years, but enough to change Indian history permanently. He was not self-made. He was the 17-year-old nephew of Hajjaj bin Yusuf, the powerful Umayyad governor, who handpicked him and sent him into India with a full army. He crossed into Sindh and defeated Raja Dahir, the Hindu king of the region, at the Battle of Aror in 712 CE. Dahir died fighting. Muhammad bin Qasim was never defeated by any Indian king. His end came from within his own world. A new caliph recalled him for political reasons and had him executed. He came, he won, and he was gone in 4 years. But the door he opened never closed again. Mahmud of Ghazni. He ruled the Ghaznavid Empire from 998 to 1030 CE. Based out of present-day Afghanistan. He was the son of the dynasty's founder, throne inherited, army ready. What he did with it was launch 17 raids into India between 1000 and 1027 CE. He defeated Jayapala of the Hindu Shahi dynasty in 1001 CE, a loss so humiliating that Jayapala burned himself alive out of shame. He defeated Jayapala's son Anandapala in 1008 CE. He sacked Mathura, Thanizar, and Kannauj, and in 1025 CE he looted the Somnath temple so completely that the wealth needed thousands of camels to carry back. He was never defeated on Indian soil. He didn't come to build, he came to take. And what he really exposed more than temple gold was how dangerously fragmented India had become. Alauddin Khalji. He ruled the Delhi Sultanate from 1296 to 1316 CE, controlling northern India and pushing campaigns deep into the Deccan. He did not come from a clean royal line. His path to the throne was through murder. He killed his own uncle and father-in-law, the sitting sultan, at what was supposed to be a celebration, and declared himself ruler on the spot. From that brutal beginning, he defeated the Rajput kingdoms and repelled 4 major Mongol invasions that had already devastated Central Asia. His chief queen was Malika-e-Jahan, the daughter of the very man he had killed. He was never defeated militarily. His end came from illness and a body that had spent 20 years holding an empire together by force. Akbar. He ruled the Mughal Empire from 1556 to 1605 CE, nearly 50 years, over an empire stretching from Kabul to Bengal. He became emperor at 13, not because he fought for it yet, but because his father Humayun died suddenly after falling downstairs. Power landed on a child's shoulders. He began his real military career at the Second Battle of Panipat in 1556, crushing Hemu, who had seized Delhi. He then captured Chittorgarh in 1568 CE and fought the Battle of Haldi Ghati in 1576 against the fierce Maharana Pratap. His most well-known queen was Mariam-uz-Zamani, the Rajput princess who became the mother of his successor Jahangir. He was never defeated. But what truly separated Akbar from every other conqueror was his mind. He couldn't even read, and yet he held debates between Hindu priests, Muslim scholars, Jain monks, and Christian priests all in the same room. He understood something rare, that land is easy to take, but people are harder to hold. Aurangzeb. He ruled from 1658 to 1707 CE, nearly 50 years, the longest reign of any major Mughal emperor, over an empire that became the largest in Indian history. He was the son of Shah Jahan, the man who built the Taj Mahal. The throne was within reach, but he didn't wait for it. He defeated his brothers, executed the one meant to inherit, and locked his own father in Agra fort for 8 years. He conquered Bijapur and Golconda, captured Sambhaji, Shivaji's son, in 1689 CE and had him executed. But the Marathas never broke. He spent his last 27 years camped in the Deccan chasing an enemy that melted into the hills and came back stronger. He expanded the empire to its greatest size, and in doing so, broke it. When he died in 1707, at 88 years old, the empire began tearing apart almost immediately. His own final letters admitted uncertainty. That doubt, from a man certain about everything his whole life, said everything. Shivaji Maharaj. He was born in 1630 CE and ruled as Chhatrapati, sovereign king, from 1674 to 1680 CE, controlling the Maratha kingdom across the Deccan, the Sahyadri Mountains, and the Konkan coast. His father Shahaji was a military commander, so he wasn't entirely common-born, but Shivaji was never handed power. He captured his first fort at 16 years old in 1646 CE without his father even knowing. He built control over 300 forts across his lifetime. He killed Afzal Khan, a giant Adil Shahi general sent to crush him, in a face-to-face confrontation in 1659 CE that required extraordinary nerve. He raided Shayista Khan, Aurangzeb's own uncle, in a daring night attack in 1663 CE. He escaped Mughal captivity in Agra in 1666 CE in a story so bold it sounds invented, but it wasn't. His two chief queens were Saibai, mother of his eldest son Sambhaji, and Soyarabai, mother of his younger son Rajaram. Aurangzeb, the most powerful emperor of the age, spent enormous resources trying to stop him, and couldn't. Shivaji didn't just fight for land. He fought for an idea that ordinary people deserved to live with dignity and govern themselves on their own soil. That idea outlived him, grew into a full empire, and challenged Mughal power for the next 100 years.